Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about how Paul George just played one of the most important games of his entire career so far. I'm be getting into how he just shut everybody up and how he just proved to everybody that he is still that dude and he can still be a very, very good player. So I'm going to get into all that in this video, and if you do like the video at any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. Not mean the absolute world to me. At any point, if you do like the video, just, hit the like button, a little thumbs up, that'd be the best. And if you don't like it, well, I mean, that's tough, but hopefully you like the video and you watched it all the way through. With all that out of the way, without further ado, let's get right into this video. First, let's set up the situation. And if you're pretty much active in the NBA community on Twitter, or you follow a lot of people on Twitter, or really just active in the community, you would know people love to beat up on Paul George and how he performs in the playoffs, especially because he gave himself the nickname Playoff P, and people love to have a field day. He is the NBA's favorite punching bag when it comes to just throwing dirt and throwing like tons and tons of stuff onto a player. And yes, some of it is called for, and he does deserve it sometimes, but a lot of it is very, very uncalled for. And then when he does very good, it doesn't get reported on or called out nearly as much as when he performs badly, to the point to where I have barely seen any YouTube videos from like the top basketball YouTubers on how he had played good and how he played a huge game. I have seen no videos on it when I was fully expecting it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video for him. I got your back, Paul George. I'm here. Playoff P, I'm here. And I don't even like the Clippers or Paul George. I'm a Pelicans fan. I just feel bad for the guy, because how do you go off like he did and then proceed not to have any media coverage for it, except for when the actual game was actually going on? So I'm beginning to why I think that was probably one of the biggest games of his career. And if he can win this series without Kawhi Leonard, which is going to look like he has to if they're going to win, well, this is going to be one of his trademark series of his entire life. This might be his Hall of Fame moment if he can make it all the way to the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi and has to win at least 2 games without his probably the best player on that team. So I think for sure this would be a huge series for Paul George. Going into that game 5 with Kawhi being out, that would soon turn into Paul George's like masterpiece pretty much game of his entire career. There is a huge ton of pressure on Paul George, because if they lose that game, then that is probably about to be the end of the series, because Kawhi is most likely not coming back. You're down 3-2 and you have to win 2 in a row, and that would be very, very hard going against a very good Utah team. So him winning that game 5 is absolutely ginormous for the Clippers and their chances of winning. And how he did it, how he just put the team on his back and was able to do it, was extremely impressive, as just through 3 quarters he already had 30 points, and then he ended the game with 37 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks on 55% shooting from the field. So he was very efficient, played good defense, got his teammates involved, was grabbing boards and scoring at will. So he went off in every single quarter, carried the team for the entire 48 minutes, and it was extremely, extremely impressive to see that he can still do that. And he proved to many, many people that he is still that dude and still a superstar level player, and he can very much carry a team on any given night. A lot of people were kind of forgetting who Paul George was when he was back in Indiana. And something scary that could be for Utah is Paul George actually said he's going back to his Indiana mindset with Kawhi Leonard being out, and that could be a very bad thing for Utah, as when he was in Indiana, he was going off every night, scoring at will, and he was playing like the Paul George we just saw in game 5. So it is going to be very fun to watch him probably for the rest of the series and the rest of the playoffs if they do win this series, especially if Kawhi Leonard is out for the remainder of it. And it should be very, very fun to watch Paul George finally go back to his old self and just prove everybody wrong, and it's going to be very exciting. And also, like, not only did he win this game, it was a huge game, and he is like easily one of the best people to make fun of in big games. He's always never showing up. Like OKC, people went off on him, they let him have it, but he finally shut him up and he won a huge game, and it was purely because of how good he played. And he's actually been playing very good this entire series, even with Kawhi there, but obviously Kawhi is going to get the credit over Paul George because Kawhi is the better player. But still, with now Kawhi out, they are forced to focus on Paul George, and this is his moment to clear his name and show everyone in the NBA community and the NBA world that he's still that dude, and he is still here, and he can still win a championship championship with only 2 players and doesn't need a super team. So it is going to be very, very fun to watch the rest of these playoffs. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think Paul George can win this series? Do you think he can make the finals? How far do you think this Clippers team can go without Kawhi? I want your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you did like the video, point, like I said earlier, hit the like button and subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you for watching it all the way through. Hope you have a blessed day. Had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.